ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णा प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णा चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरकृष्णे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थसुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदायादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकी। Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 30, verse number 41. So we read how Srimati Radharani said she is tired, she cannot walk. They have walked a lot and therefore Krishna can carry her wherever he wants. And Krishna agreed, but only externally. Internally he did not. So he said, yes, you can take a ride on my shoulder, and then he disappeared. So then the separation, the Vipralambha was created, and Srimati Radharani cried, shouting, Ha Natha, Ha Ramana, Preshta Kwasi Kwasi, Mahabhuja. So that's what we stopped, I think. So now he describes further, Anvichantyo Bhagavato Margam Gopyo Viduritaha Dadrishu Priya Vishleshan Mohitam Dukhitam Sakhim. So in this way, on the other side, the gopis who were searching for Krishna, so they saw from far that there was this gopi who was in a state of swoon, mohitam, and full of grief because he has been separated from Krishna. And they saw that she was their friend, associate, Sakhim. So Sakhim Dukhitam Mohitam. So they saw their friend who was very grievous and also unconscious, Mohita. So Anvichante, Anveshyante. Anvichante means searching. Vidurto api dadrishu. They saw her from far. So there are both readings can be taken, Vidurita or Avidurita. Some take this as Avidurita, not from far, and some from far. Dadrishu, they saw Tasyaha Vidyut Tulya Kanti Martvat. How could they see her from far? Because she was very brilliant like lightning. So that's why they could see. And those who take the reading as Avidurita, not from far, means it was dark, so they could not see from far. Sakhimiti tasyas tadris dasa darshnene vipakshanamapi tatra snehodayat. So this is a very interesting statement that she is being described here as their Sakhi, means the friend of the gopis. So he says that now when they saw her in that particular state, then even the gopis who belong to the Vipaksha, they had affection for her. They were compassionate seeing her. So this is to show that their jealousy is not what we think of jealousy in the material world. Even those who are Vipaksha, because jealous people feel happy if the person you are jealous of gets into trouble. That's your festival. And you celebrate. So yeah, this is what she deserves. She cheated all of us. Now see, karma caught her. That's how they explain karma. Karma doesn't leave you, right? So this is not how the gopis reacted. Because they're all devoted to Krishna and they are all full of prema. So they do not have the type of jealousy which people experience here in material world. Because jealous people cannot become devotees. Nirmatsaranam satam. Path of bhakti is not for jealous people. So therefore it says that even they had the sneha, their hearts melted and they do not have any ill feelings towards her. Although previously they were saying that how she has gone away, leaving us all behind. So kincha ujjwal rasasya स्वभावे वयम यत् कांतस्य कांता मात्र युक्तत्वे ज्ञाते सति कांता नाम ईर्ष्या द्वेषादि अभाव. So he says that this is the nature of ujjwal rasa, that if there is any beloved and she is separated, so then they do not have any jealousy, envy, etc. for that. So kantasya kanta matra yuktatve gyate sati. That if they know that they have been separated any gopi is separated from Krishna, then they don't feel good about that. So that's what they're saying. Kantasya kanta matra yuktatve gyate sati kantanam irsha dveshadi abhava. There is no dislike, hatred, hard-heartedness. Paraspar snehavatvam cha yaduktam. And they have mutual affection. Ateva hi vishleshe snehastasam prakashate. So therefore it is said, I don't know from where it is, that during separation the mutual affection becomes manifest. So this is the beauty of prema, that how in separation all come together. Taya kathitam akarnya man praptim cha madhavat amanam cha dauratmyad vismayam paramam yayu. So then obviously they came and they spoke to her and they asked what happened, how you have fallen into this state, you are with Krishna. So then taya kathitam akarnya, then she explained to them exactly what happened. She described how she was honored, respected by Madhava, by Krishna, and then also described how she was left alone, and this is because of her own hard-heartedness or her own crookedness, dauratmyant. So when the gopis heard this, they were very astonished, because they could not believe that Krishna left her also, although he has taken her away and then he left her also. This was a great surprise to them. So tatascha sakhibhir atyucha rodanena vyajnadi paricharaya yatnas tat prabodhe sampadite sati. So when the gopis came there and they saw her fallen down on the ground in a state of an unconscious state, then all these gopis started crying loudly. And they did service to her, they were fanning her, maybe putting water in her mouth. And then in this way, with great effort, she was brought back to consciousness. So when she came to consciousness, then the gopis asked her, Priya Sakhi Svavritantah Kathyatam, that dear friend, tell us what happened to you. How is that you have fallen in this state? So Tabhi Prishtaya Taya Kathitam. So when Srimati Radharani was asked like this, then she explained as follows. She said, I, Priya Sakhya, Katham Bhavtibhyo Avichinna Aham Abhuvam Iti Mugdaham Partantra Nagyasisam. She said, my dear friends, how I got separated from you, I am so confused that I don't know how it happened. I am Partantra, I am not independent. So Nagyasisam. Kintu man praptir avmanascha dauratmya deva iti nischanomi. But that one thing I know, that the respect, the honor that I got, and the disrespect and dishonor that I have faced now, it is all because of my own misbehavior or ill behavior. So how is that? Yusman parasahasra premvatir avmatya svaviraha analena jvaliyatva mahiyam ekasya yat svabhagyam dattam idam tasya dauratma. So she is saying that the respect to me and the disrespect both are outcome of ill behavior. But one is ill behavior on his part, another is ill behavior on my part. So first she is explaining Krishna's ill behavior. What is that? He says, you are thousands and thousands of gopis and you are full of love for him. But disregarding all of you and burning you in the fire of separation from him, he took away me and in this way gave me the good fortune and respect. So this is his ill behavior. So idam tasya dauratma. And tam durlila maharaja putram prati varaka api mugdha na paryeham chalitum nayamam iti yad avocham etattu mamayva dauratma. And then what is my ill behavior, wrong action? That he is the son of Maharaj, he is son of Nanda Maharaj, but he is very mischievous person. And I am insignificant and simpleton. And I told him, oh, you can take me, you can carry me wherever you want to carry. This was my mistake. I should not have done that to him. Whatever he is doing. I should not take example from him and then behave like that. So yata etaman avmanah prapta. So therefore I have received now the result in the form of abandoning me and going away, not caring for me. Iti ubhayathapi me maha mano dukkham eva. So therefore now I am suffering in both ways. That what he did to you was a mistake on his part, but because he did this for my sake, so I feel bad for that. And then I am feeling also I am suffering because of what I did to him. So you see how a devotee thinks. A non-devotee uses the intelligence to find others' fault. Right? Because non-devotee never makes mistake. It is not possible. We don't make mistakes. Mistakes are always made by others. All we have to do is use our intelligence to find it, that how he made the mistake. And everybody is good at that. Everybody has got intelligence to figure out how everyone is messing up things and causing me trouble. Otherwise my life would be simple, peaceful, happy. It's only because of others that I suffer. Right? And here we see that Srimati Radharani is blaming herself, that it is only because of me. You are suffering because of me, and I am suffering because of me. So this is the topmost devotee speaking. So you see the behavior of topmost devotee and the topmost non-devotees, the asuras, who even blame God. People also now why is there so much problem? God is not doing anything. Right? They don't spare them, even God. All the problems because of God. Those even who do nothing for God, they blame, at least they blame Him. Otherwise they don't do anything. But when it comes to giving blame, then who else but God? It's all His mistake. So this is the Bahirmukha and Antarmukha story. So therefore it says Maha Mano Dukkham Eva. So this says because of this I am having an intense suffering. Svakante tasu swasminscha kramena asuya vinaya danyani vanjita. So what she is done is that she is expressing non-enviousness towards her beloved Krishna and humility towards gopis, to other devotees, and danya, wretchedness towards herself. So means she is considering that I am wretched and cause of trouble for everybody. So this is how she is thinking. But Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur cannot tolerate this explanation. So he takes another route to explain. Because the whole explanation which has been given till now is based on one word, Dauratmya. So, Avamanam cha Dauratmyad. So, Dauratma comes from the word Duratma. Atma, Dur means ill. So, ill mind, ill behavior, ill action, the characteristics. So, he makes this as not from Duratma but Duratma. So, because Dauratmya, whether the word is Duratma or Duratma, if you apply Anpratyaya on it, then the outcome is Dauratmya. So he twists here. So he says, Atra Śrīmad-Munindrena Dauratmya Shabda Prayogastu Tasya Vachna Anuvadad Eva. So he says that Munindra, Sukadeva Goswami is not thinking like that Srimati Radharani is ill-behaved or Krishna is ill-behaved. He is just repeating what she said, but he is not agreeing with that. It's like a devotee may say something out of humility. Then other devotees do not accept that. He say, I am fallen, I am this, I am suffering because of my karma. And they don't say, yeah, you are right. We already knew it. It is good that you are realizing it. So they don't say that. So they understand that he is being humble. So therefore, he is only repeating it. He says, what is the truth? He says, Vastutastu Sri Krishnat Dure Atma Yasyaha Dure Atma Sri Krishna Va Yasya Sa Duratma. So he says, in truth, the meaning is that in the first case, that Atma can also means body. So Duratma means one whose body is far away from Krishna. That is Duratma. So therefore he says that Sri Krishnat Dure Atma Yasya, whose body is far away from Krishna is Duratma, means one who is in separation. And Dure Atma Sri Krishna Vayasya, or it means Atma means Krishna and Krishna is far away from her, that is Duratma. So Sa Duratma, so she is the Duratma. Who is Duratma? Duratma is Radharani. And the bhav of Duratma is Dauratmya. Means you are far away and the quality of being far away is far awareness, far awayness. So Duratma becomes Dauratmya, which if you see dictionary, it will say it means crookedness, ill-heartedness, ill behavior means, but all it means is somebody who is separated. So this is not a popular meaning, but this is the meaning he is taking. It's a very big trick he is playing. So sa duratma tasya bhava dauratmyam. So what is the meaning of dauratmya? Means separation, that's all. So he says that the whole problem is of separation. That you are suffering because of separation and I am suffering because of separation, not because of ill behavior. So Vismayam Paramam Yayur. So why did gopis were astonished to hear this? So now he explains that. He says, Priya Sakhi, Bhavatyaha Saubhagyam Uchitam eva Natra Tasya Dauratmyam. So first the gopis are saying that because she said that it is Krishna's Dauratmya, taking the popular meaning of Dauratmya as hard-heartedness or harshness. So he says that it is not Krishna's Dauratmya. There is nothing wrong with her. You deserve it. You see now how the gopis, this shows how they do not have a trace of jealousy. They are saying that he took you away because you deserve it. You are qualified. You are of that caliber. You have so much love for him that none of us have, and therefore it is not a surprise that he went away with you. So they are not seeing any flaw in her now, although earlier the Vipaksha gopis spoke like that. So that's why he says that now no one is. And then he says that Rati Shrantayaha Swadhin Bhartrikayas Tav Kantam Pratyagapnam api na Dauratmyam Pratur. And then in your part also, because you are tired, and therefore being tired and he is under your control, so for you to ask him to carry you is also not Dauratmya, but rather this is Rasa-vaham. This is nourishing the rasa. There is nothing wrong, it is natural, because this is the pleasure in relationship. किंतु अनुकूल नायकेन संभुक्त कांताया यद आज्ञा उल्लंघनम एतादृश दुरवस्था प्रापणम च एतदेव रस प्रतिकूलम दौरात्म्य व्यंजकम. But in fact, when the Nayaka, the hero, is Anukul, Anukul means under control, who is favorable, who is obedient, and who has relished the company of the heroine, then if he is not being obedient and making you experience this situation, this is against rasa. This is ras pratikulam, and this is indicative of hard-heartedness. But this is also not possible. Krishna is not like that. That is the surprise. So their surprise is that hanta hanta maharasika sekharasya mahapremavato dayanidhestasya katham evam chikirshitama bhut iti paramam vishmam prap. Because you get surprised when you see something which is unusual, which you have not experienced before, something new and you are not expecting. That makes one wonder, how is this? So they are saying that Krishna is the ocean of compassion. He is Dayanidhi. And he is Mahaprem one. He is full of love. And he is Maharasik Shekhar. He is the topmost Rasika, knower of rasa and how to relish it. Therefore, he cannot have Dauratmya, and yet he has acted like this. This we cannot understand. So they are also not blaming him, but unable to understand. So this is also the nature in the material world, that if you have somebody senior to you, senior devotee, guru or someone else, and that person acts in a way which you do not expect, so then you find fault. But here they are saying that we don't know. Obviously, if he is doing it, he must have a reason. But we don't understand. And this is very surprising, because generally we would expect him not to leave you. So this is what it means, nishtha. I mean, prem is, of course, there is no question of nishtha for them, they are full of love. This is, but even when you have nishtha, when you have fixity, then this is what you think, I do not understand, but there must be a reason. If we see something in Shastra which goes against our experience, against our logic, then we should not immediately say, oh well, we should change this. This is wrong, this is not possible. No, we should think, well, this is Sukadeva Goswami speaking, Vyasadeva writing it. And if it seems wrong, then it is I who cannot understand. There must be some explanation for that. That is how a person who has Shraddha in Shastra thinks. And those who do not have Shraddha, then they will find fault. They will say, no, this, we should remove this part, we should change this. It doesn't fit. So that's not the case with people who have Shraddha. So it is both in case of Shastra and in case of great devotees, and what to speak of Krishna. So this is very, very pertinent point with Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, practical point for our practical life, how we should act. Tato avishan vanam chandra jyotsna yavad vibhavyate tama pravishnamalaksha tato nivivritu striyaha. So then what did they do? That they entered, they all now got together. So now all the gopis and Radharani together, they are all searching for Krishna. And they entered, and now there was a deep forest, so even the moonlight was not able to show the path. So therefore, seeing the darkness, they returned back. So tamaha pravishtam alakshya tato nivivritu striya. So they returned back from there. He says there is no point in going further because we cannot see. So tatascha vayagrena sakhi datta hasta avalambanaya taya saheva tastam anveshyama suritya. So then, because of vyagrata, because of this intense disturbance of the mind due to separation, so they lifted her up by supporting her with the hand, and then along with her, along with Srimati Radha, all of them, they started looking for Krishna. So that is being described in this verse. Chandra jyotsna yavad vibhavyate lakshate iti. So as long as they could see the path in the moonlight, they went. Purnima rajanyamapi nibida vriksha chaya vasadeva tama. Although it was full moon night, but because the forest was very dense further, so there was no light coming down. Because when they are dense forest, then it gets covered by the trees and leaves and branches. So no light was coming down, therefore it was dark. Yaduktam Vishnu Purane, as it is stated in Vishnu Purana, Pravishto Gehanam Krishna Padamatrina Lakshate Nivartadhvam Sasankasya netad vidhiti gochara. So Krishna entered in the deep forest and we could not see his footprints anymore. So therefore they said that cannot see in the light of the moon, therefore let's return. So this is the normal explanation, but what is the inner feeling of the gopis? This is also very important. How deeply they think, and this is how the prema thinks, love thinks. Vastutastu hamho kheda sindhu nimagna sakhyo ghana syam tame asmin tamasi ghan syam vapusham tamastad avalokan shankya eva pralini bhuya sthitam ma sankochayat yatra yatra yuyam yashyatha tatastato anyatreva sa palayishyate iti alamati sukumar sharirasya tasya sramotpadan vyavashayena iti vimrishya eva nivritu. So the gopis, this is how they thought. Although they were completely drowned in the ocean of grief. So they thought that, oh friends, that there is this deep darkness here. And in this darkness, Krishna, whose body is also dark in color. So, Vapusam tamastad avalokan sankhya eva pralani bhuyasthitam ma sankochayate. He says that he is hiding in this darkness, so that thinking that we may come. So wherever you will go, he will try to hide himself. He will run. He may be here somewhere, but we don't see him because there is no light and he is also dark in color, so he is hiding in this. So now wherever we go, then he will run away from there, and we should not cause him trouble to run like this in this dark forest. His body is very tender. Ati sukumar sharirasya tasya sramotpadan vyavashayena. We should stop making him run like this in darkness and thus causing him trouble, because he may hurt himself. Forest is deep, there may be branches, also who knows what animals on the ground. So he says, let's stop and go back. So they are thinking of not just their own grief and separation, but also that not cause trouble to him. Even if we have to suffer, we should not cause problem to him. And thinking like this, they stopped. So then what did they do? So this is what is being described here. It's a very nice sloka. Tanmanaskastadalapa tadvicheshta tadatmikaha tadgunaneva gayantyo natma garani sasmaru. So their minds were fixed on him and they were talking about him, and they were again imitating his activities, and they were identifying with him. The four things which happened, three, that they were asking the trees and plants, tadalapa is that, tadvichesta, they were imitating his activities, and then tadatmika, they were completely identifying with him. So this is what happened. So first is tadmanaska, their minds fixed on him, and because of that they are going and inquiring from plants and trees about him. And when their separation, their grief goes more intense, then they start imitating his activities, and then when it goes to its height, then they start thinking they are Krishna themselves. So this is what is the meaning of this. Means they are going into the state of samadhi, because in state of samadhi the distinction between meditator and the object of meditation dissolves. So this is the prema samadhi. And then tadgunan eva gayantyo natma garani sasmaro. So when they came out, then they are singing his qualities, and in this way they did not remember their own self, their house, their possessions, their relatives, nothing. So complete absorption in him. So tad manaskatveneva purvad unmadasya mande tadalapa. So because they were thinking of him, therefore they again experienced the state of unmada, this madness. And when it was lower, then they were talking, means asking the plants, Drishtovaha kvachidasvatha itivat tamalapantya. That, oh, Ashwatha tree, have you seen Krishna? Unmadasya madhyatve tadvicheshta. When the unmada became medium, then they were imitating his activities. Krishnayanti apibastanam. Apibatstanam. So Gopi was acting like Krishna and drinking milk, breast of another one. Tachestam anukritvatya. And unmadasya praudhatve, when the unmad became very intense, then tadatmika, which means Krishnoham pashyate gatim. Look, I am Krishna, see how I am walking. Itivad atma vishmritau tanmai bhuta. So in this way they forgot themselves completely and became absorbed only in Krishna. And in that state also they were singing Purva Sanskar Vashadeva Gayante Uchair Amumeve Itivat. So because of their previous sanskara, they were singing loudly, singing about Krishna's character, his qualities, his activities. Then finally they come back to the bank of Yamuna where they were. So Punah Pulinam Agatya Kalindyaha Krishna Bhavanaha Samaveta Jaguhu Krishnam Tada Agamana Kankshitaha. So finally they dropped everything and they came to the bank of Yamuna, being absorbed in thoughts of Krishna. And then together they sang a song, hoping that Krishna will come back. So this is the last verse of the sloka, and the next chapter is Gopi Geet, because then they will sing the song in separation. Hanta hanta yatra tad anveshanartham yama tatas tata sa palaishyate tasmad van paryatan kashtam kim tasya utpadishyama tadichham vina sa na labhyo. So they said that, dear friends, how long are we going to search for him? He is expert in running. This is his job every day. He plays with his friends here. He knows all the paths. Wherever we will go, he will run from there. So, what is the benefit of giving him this trouble? So then let's stop him, because we cannot find him unless he wishes it. So this is also an important point of philosophy, that you can perform sadhana, but don't think that he comes because of your sadhana. So without his wish, you cannot have him. So therefore Upanishad says, Yameva esha vrunute tena labhya. So only whom he chooses to show, that person can see him, not otherwise. So this is the meaning, that he is the ultimate independent reality. People talk about free will, this, that is fine, but when you see from his point of view, then he is the only one who is truly having free will. Although he also becomes subservient to his devotees, but here he showed that if he wants to give up, he is doing this also for the sake of devotees, but still he made the decision. So this must be understood. Yameva esha vrunute tena labhya iti shruti pramani kurvatya iva tad darsane tat karunyam eva hetu. So therefore, it is only his grace which is the cause in his darshan, in seeing him. It's like when Mother Yashoda was trying to bind Krishna. So although she made an effort, which is good and which should be done by bhakta, by devotee, but he became bound only by his kripa. So drishtva parishramam Krishna, kripya asit svabandhane. So it is only by kripa that he came under the bondage of the ropes. Otherwise she could not bind him. So this should be kept in mind. Otherwise, again the pride will come. Oh, I did this much effort, that much effort. It doesn't work. You can do whatever you want to do. Unless he wishes, it will not happen. So that is also shown here, that they are searching for Krishna, but they don't find him. Brahma also searched, and he was born on the lotus flower. Then he went inside this time for 1,000 years. He searched, he could not find. So by our own effort, it is not possible. Yet that does not mean we should not make the effort. So this is difficult to grasp, because then people naturally think, then why shall I make the effort? Because we are so used to doing action and then the fruit. But Krishna says, you do the action, karmanyeva adhikaraste. But the fruit, I keep the control. So this Purvamimamsa idea that you do action and the result will come because karma gives fruit, that is not really true. So karma should be done, that is important, but fruit is not under our control. And unless we understand this, we will keep on failing. So finally you have to surrender. Your ahankara has to be broken down. So as long as you have the ahankara that you can achieve by your own effort, you will meet failure. Maybe you get some success, but ultimately failure has to happen, because it's not true. So therefore it says that iti hetus tat karunya cha sankirtanam. So how to get his kripa, his mercy, his grace? He says do sankirtanam. Chetodarpan marjanam. So by doing sankirtan, then you will remain humble. So tat sankirtanam eva heturiti siddhantam prakashyante iva purvam yatra tena sangati rasit tadeva sthanam ajagma. So to reveal this fact that we can get his grace by singing his qualities, by doing kirtan, by reciting prayers. they came back to the same place where they were with Krishna. And then they sang together, Samveta Jagu. So this is the end of chapter number 30. And now the next is their song, Gopi Geet. We'll start tomorrow. So any question on this? Yes.
Babaji, could you elaborate on this? Because you said that auto sadhana is not the result of, Krishna coming is not the result of sadhana, but then later it's also mentioned that if you want to have His grace, then do Sankirtan. So Sankirtan is also sadhana.
Yes, Sankirtan is sadhana, but what is being said is that by that you will get grace. And then otherwise if you do Sankirtan, how long you do Sankirtan? When there is a cause and effect relationship, then it is known that if you have this much cause, or whatever is the cause needed. So if you say, well, Sankirtan is the sadhana, this is the cause, then I will ask you, so how long is to be done? 1 day, 2 days, 1 year, 1 month? You cannot say. Why you cannot say? Because it is His will. So that's why I'm saying that you have to do your part and still don't think that you are getting result because you did this much. Otherwise you will become proud again. And this is what he is showing, that tasam tat saubhagmadam manam cha vikshakeshu prasmaya prasadaya tattare janturdevi. So then again that proud will become an obstacle. Pride will become an obstacle. Because he is not going to maintain that.
The jealousy is mentioned so many times, but it's like weaved into the stories. The jealousy is mentioned so many times, weaved into the stories, and then you're like pulling it out and explaining it. And I'm wondering if there's any like shastra where somebody just analyzes jealousy on its own, not in stories, and just says, here's the signs and symptoms of jealousy.
There's no analysis like that.
What?
I don't know. I don't think there's any shastra like that.
Okay. Thank you.
So you only see in the commentaries. The shastra tells through stories, or it just tells that you should not have it. But what are the symptoms, this, that, you know only from the stories. And the whole Mahabharata is full of that. Tanmaji?
Babaji, Kumar has a question.
Pranam Babaji. So I had a question. Once they are actually in Tadatnya Bhav with Krishna, so how did they come back from there? Like, what is the...
Come back from where?
They were, in 4 states. So they went to, they were imitating Krishna's action, and then they felt as if they are Krishna. How did they come back from the state where they were actually feeling that they are Krishna?
So it is not in your hands. These are called vyabhichari bhavas. So means these are transitory emotions. It's like if you get very angry at somebody, then how do you come down? You can maybe do some exercises, breathing, drink water, think like that. But even if you don't do anything, after some time your anger will come down. You cannot maintain your top-notch anger whole day. Your intensity will come down. It can go up again, but you cannot maintain it. This is the nature of these emotions. That's why they are called emotion. They are in motion. So they're not sthayi bhavas. They're asthayi. That's why they're called vyabhichari or sanchari. Sanchari means which moves. Sthayi means which does not move, which is stuck, stable.
Thank you.
Ladali.
Haribol Babaji, I was wondering if a senior devotee or if Guru is behaving in a way that we cannot understand. Shall we ask to get a higher knowledge or to understand our behavior and improve ourselves, or shall we just accept because it is completely beyond our understanding?
You can ask. If there is an opportunity to ask, you can ask. But now in their case, there was no opportunity to ask. Krishna was not there. When they will meet him, they will ask him. They will also ask.
Okay.
It will come. He says, why did you do this? He says, bhajtanu bhajanti eka. Eka etad vipariyam no bhayansa bhajanti ekattenno bruhu sadhu bhu. He says, please tell us, which one are you? There are some people, if you do service to them, they do service to you. Bhajato anu bhajanti eka. And there are some people, you do service to them, they don't reciprocate. And no bhayansa bhajanti eka. And then there are some who do not do service to the other, even if you serve them. So there are these three conditions. Bhajato anu bhajanti eka etad. The third one is, there are three. One is you reciprocate, one you don't reciprocate, and one is whether you reciprocate and don't reciprocate, they go on doing it. So it says, which one are you out of these three? We are trying to understand you. So he will say, I am none of them. That's bewildering, because there are only three possibilities. That you help somebody, then that person also helps. You help someone, that person does not help. You help someone, that person doesn't help, but you still continue helping. So they said, which one do you belong to? So he says, none of them. So that's surprising. So he says, I tighten the screw. You do seva to me, and I tighten your screw. Because people have their screws loose. You heard that? In India they say like that. I don't know in the West they say or not. He says, this guy's screws are loose. And somebody is behaving like crazy. So they say, iska dimag ka, his brain screws are loose.
Same in the West, loose
Yeah?
screws.
Yeah?
Yes.
So then Krishna comes and he tightens. But tightening screw means tough job, you feel pain. So that's what he does. So he will say that. Naham tu sakhyo bhajami.
Thank you, Babaji.
Okay, who is there? Anmol Tiwari. Speak. Tiwari ji, you have a question?
Yes, Babaji. Am I audible?
Yes.
Am I audible?
Your voice is not very clear. It's like you're speaking inside a pipe.
Actually, Babaji, I have a question different from the doubt.
You can write in the chat.
Okay, I am writing.
You are writing or? Okay, he's writing. Let's wait. How will I see? Very much yet. There is no chat in this. Okay, can you read?
Once or twice,
Hmm?
I will read once or twice.
There is something here in chat. Okay, it's on the same right. Now I got it. He's writing a long one. Okay. Shiva says that Lord Vishnu and Brahma originated from Lord Shiva. And Vaishnava says that Lord Shiva and Brahma originated from Shiva. What is truth? Both are true. This is what we are studying. That how there are contradictory statements and they can both be true. So, Shastra has got its own technique. That's why it has to be studied from those who know Shastra. Otherwise, you remain confused. So, Vishnu is supreme, and from Vishnu comes Brahma, Shiva, everybody. But Shiva is also, sometimes it is said that from Shiva come. So Shiva is also name of Vishnu. So when it is said, Shiva is also name, so then from him come Vishnu and Brahma, they will speak like that because Vishnu can expand as Vishnu. If you read Vishnu Sahasranam, then you will see Shiva also mentioned in one of the names. So this is the trick. So if you want to know what is the truth, you should read Bhāgavatam. Because Bhāgavatam is the last work of Srila Vyasadeva. Last work means that is the ultimate truth. So what is said in other Puranas, if it does not match with Bhāgavatam, then you should try to understand it in the light of Bhāgavatam, which means it should be interpreted. It does not mean, because now people also think that, oh, that means we should not accept anything from Shiva Purana. Like somebody was asking question that Radha is not mentioned in Bhāgavatam, but it is mentioned somewhere else, or this, that. So it doesn't matter. If something is not contradicted in other Puranas, then that is acceptable. But if it is contradictory, which means it is seemingly contradicted, because there is no contradiction actually, then you have to understand it in the light of Bhāgavatam. That is the basic principle. Now Shraivites will not accept it. That's all right. We are not Shraivite. But that's how we understand. And we have a logic. And logic is that Puru Parayo Parvidhi Balvan. That what comes later is superior than what was before. If a person writes two things or gives two different orders to the same person, then obviously if they are contradictory, then the later order will take precedence over the previous order. Otherwise, why is he giving the second order? So in Shastra also there is Mimamsa. This is called Shastra Mimamsa, deliberation on Shastra. And we have to do Bala Bala Vichar. All the statements of Shastra are not equally potent or equally strong. So when there is a contradiction, then we have to see which is stronger of these two statements. And how to know that? There are techniques for that. So we have to understand that. Okay.